Every few years, there comes a political candidate that I cannot help but get behind 1,000%. No, I'm not talking about El Presidente either. It's your buddy Moo Juice Magic here. No, the person I'm talking about, you might know well if you're in the YouTube community, and that is Brandon Herrera, the AK guy, as he's known on YouTube. He's also one of the hosts of the Unsubscribed podcast, and all around, just a really good American. Decent fellow, loves his country, loves his state, and he is running for Congress. This is for the second time against Tony Gonzalez out of Texas. If you're in Texas and you're in that district, you should be supporting Brandon Herrera 1,000%. 10 toes down, charge forward into it, and go for it. I live in freaking California, and I've donated money to this guy's campaign. I'm not that well off in life. I'm a small content creator. Brandon is a big content creator on a large spectrum. But sometimes you follow someone and you just know they're a good person and you know what they want to do is correct. Tony Gonzalez's opponent has been one of the most lily-livered pseudo-Republicans I've ever met. He is a rhino, Republican in name only. Not that being a Republican is necessary to vote for Brandon Herrera. If you like guns, you like your freedom, we need more people like Brandon in office to go to Washington and make change. I wish we had more of that here where I live because my rights have been walked on, stepped on, and stomped on. And if you don't want Texas becoming like California, we need more people like Brandon Herrera. And that's not just Texas I'm talking about. It's every state. More and more guys like this we need to support. I know it's not my voting district. Doesn't mean I can't donate money. It doesn't mean I can't help. Now let's hear what Brandon has to say on the matter. And yeah.
Constitution. We will stand by the First Amendment. We will stand by the Second Amendment. We will stand by the Fourth Amendment. All the things that Tony has voted against. We will stand by that.
That's true.
Because I cannot be bought. Frankly, they can't afford me.
What's up, guys? I actually just got back from a speaking event this morning for the campaign.
That beautiful man there.
I'm about to go to another one tonight. But while I had a couple of hours in between, I figured it would be good to just sit down and talk to you guys a little bit and give you an update. You know, YouTube, my weaponized autists. And, you know, just give you a little bit of an update on exactly how the campaign is going. Because I kind of realized the other day I haven't really talked about this to the YouTube audience in a while. Now, you may remember back in August, I did a video announcing that I was once again running for Congress against anti-gun Republican Tony Gonzalez, right here in Texas District 23, which is roughly the west to northwest side of San Antonio, all the way out to the east side of El Paso and everything in between. It's a really big district. Now, while Tony Gonzalez's anti-gun vote was what got me frustrated in the first place, he's made a whole bunch of other bad votes that have really just made him a terrible congressman. I mean,
it's not just that. He referred to Brandon as a Nazi because he was trying to play the Dem card.
If you look at the guy's Liberty score, you kind of wonder how he was elected in Texas in the first place. That's not even mentioning being bought and paid for by a bunch of special interests.
He barely beat Brandon
so in the 2024
with a much larger
election,
budget.
I threw my hat in the ring.
We cannot continue to tolerate this wave of weak politicians. That's why I'm running for Congress.
Now, I'm no politician. I've never run for office before. I'm just a local business owner here in the district. But I thought about it a lot. And I thought that if we had a good message and the help of all of you and a bunch of amazing people all over West Texas in the grassroots, we could really give this guy a run for his money. And that's exactly what happened. We had actually advanced from the primary to a runoff, which is when no candidate reaches 50%. So the people who came in first and second go into like a special election. And from that special election, that was just a head-to-head between me and Tony, we lost by 400 votes.
I was going to say,
which is crazy when you realize
votes.
that incumbents have a re-election rate of like 97% or something like that. On top of that, seeing how much we were outspent for how well we did is incredible. But of course, it's still, you know, a loss is still a little heartbreaking, especially one that's that close. It was my hope that because it was so close, it would be able to send a strong message to Tony, hey, a lot of your constituents are really not happy with the way that you're voting and behaving, and you know, maybe it's time to fix that, and, you know, improve and better represent the district.
He didn't do that.
Yeah, that didn't happen. If anything, for Tony, I think he might have gotten the message that he's invincible and that he's only gotten worse. But I did throw my hat into the ring for a second time. We're back in this race, And the election now, at time of recording, is only like 54 days away. The election, of course, being on March 3rd, with early voting, kind of in late February. So suffice it to say,
boys,
we're getting pretty close to crunch time. So I figured I'd sit down and record a little update, tell you guys, where do we stand, how's the race looking so far, what we're doing on the ground, and how you guys can get involved. So for one, the big elephant in the room, and part of the reason why we lost last time, the money side.
Well, this is not all of it. Hold on. It's not just the money side. One of the reasons that election went that way is because during that election, there was heavy flooding in Texas. And people just didn't get out and vote because they were stuck in their houses. He lost by less than 500 votes, guys. That is a ridiculous margin of loss.
So last time, Tony and his big special interests, super PACs, all that, spent about $13 million against me. Which to, beat a YouTuber, which is a bit of an oversimplification, I would say.
Yeah,
they just try to completely discard me as a joke candidate. Having to spend $13 million to barely win is kind of wild, which we were just barely over $1 million, which some of that was my money and a lot of that was thanks to donors and people like you. And when I say donors on our side, I don't mean like the big special interest type donors. I'm talking about average everyday Americans that are putting $20 here, $30 there, which before I go too far into that brings us to this race. So I announced it roughly the same time as I did last cycle in August. And by the end of November, we had raised $1.1 million. For reference, that is more money than we raised the entirety of the last primary. We are already very far ahead of where we were last time. In contrast, the amount of money that Tony himself has in his, war chest, his campaign committee, is actually lower than it was this time last time. And his fundraising has kind of stifled. Of course, as an incumbent, he had access to a lot of coffers and things like that, but in Q3, he was actually, we beat him in fundraising for the first time ever, I'm pretty sure. And I know what a lot of you guys at home are probably thinking. Well, Brandon, money shouldn't be that important in politics.
No.
And trust me, I agree with you. But unfortunately, in the current system that we live in, it absolutely is essential. The money behind a campaign is what buys yard signs, billboards, radio, TV ads, internet ads. It is the lifeblood of a campaign. And unfortunately, what they did last time is they just lied about me in some, oh shit, knocked my mic over. They lied about me in some really crazy, like easily refutable ways, but we didn't have the funds to be able to counter it. Because unfortunately, the truth is, if they can spend enough to lie 20 times in an ad, and we can only tell the truth once, what are the odds people are even gonna see it? So the fact that we're pretty far along in being able to level that playing field is awesome. And I largely have you guys to thank for that. The reaction that you guys have had to a lot of the campaign giveaways and stuff like that have really allowed us to, again, level this playing field, which is where I'm going to announce the new campaign giveaway, which I think you guys are going to find pretty cool. Would you like to come to SHOT Show and come hang out with us? Every donation over $5 for about the next week or so will automatically enter you to win a trip to SHOT Show, where you'll be invited to come hang out with us at the fundraiser we're doing over at the Trump. This is for you and a +1, just in case you have a special lady in your life. And of course, access to SHOT Show and all that good stuff. And that's every increment of $5 is another entry. So $10 is 2 entries, $100 is 20 entries, and so on. And again, just to show that I am putting my money where my mouth is, I will be matching all donations in the month of January up to $100,000. That is directly out of my pocket, because I do believe in this. I mean, hell, since I've started this, not including opportunity cost, I think I put about $250,000 of my own money. This will make it $350,000. I really do believe in what we're trying to do here, and this is proof I'm all in. Failure isn't an option this time. I feel like this is the last opportunity we're going to have to get Tony Gonzalez out of office, and I'm not going to let it go to the wayside. Yeah. So I'm going to be working hard as hell, but also I'm putting my money down. I'm in a very fortunate situation where the channel is kind of like a growth engine that's allowing us to do these great things and get good people into office. And speaking of paying the bills, 2026 is a fresh start, but with the same.
All right, I'm gonna tag the rest. I'm gonna tag this in there in the comments. I'll have this up there so you guys can watch the full video. I'm gonna link it. Put the link in the comments below, kind of thing, or at least in the description. Brandon is a good dude, as I said before. I've been following the guy for a lot of years now. Does a lot for charity. Him and the unsubscribed guys. listen, if you live in District 23 of Texas and you don't want it to turn into California, you need to vote for Brandon Herrera. Don't let this rhino Republican, Tony Gonzalez, be in power anymore, because he's there for that. He's there to get his palms greased, and he's there for power. You can tell by how he acts and how he talks. It sucks because he served his country with dignity in the military, and I have nothing but respect for that. But go check out Brandon Herrera. Make sure you go donate, because you spend $5 and you go to SHOT Show if you get the drawing one. For a +1, they're covering everything else. Dude, you know how much money that is? That's an investment into your entertainment and a good time. All right. Anyway, Brandon, best of luck and Godspeed. I'm Mood Juice Magic. I love you guys in the face. I'll talk to you later.